MRecktv. Let's go to music. M.Reck. Y'all wanna stunt and floss on Front Street? The Hulk will tear through your gut, spill out your lunch meat. You the main Vic, they booking for drugs. Niggas starving out here, and you looking like grub. That new M.Reck Catch a Lick single, aka Money Dance, that's killing the airwaves on Shade 405 and many different other stations in Connecticut, Boston, so forth and so on. You can get it now. The links is in the video description. It's available on Google Play, Deezer, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, etc., etc. Go get that. One. Slug you, the streets don't love you. Not at all. By now, homie, you shoulda knew that. Ain't no Nino Browns in this town. You a new jack.
Alright, this is Dave Dash, the chairman of the board of Chairman Flavor Link DVD. Get money, I'm gonna get it for you. Life is the dash. How?
You ready? Alright, first question is, how did you meet Chaz and what made you want to do a movie with him?
Damn, I don't remember when I met Chad.
How did you meet him?
I mean, I don't even remember.
Your relationship with him, did you have a relationship with him before music?
Well, I got into the music business, and the way I got into it was being around people that I respected, you know what I'm saying? Because at a certain point, no one was listening to what I was saying, and the reason why is they couldn't understand the movement. They couldn't understand the way I wanted to make my records and what the message was I wanted to put into the marketplace, which was, you know, living by the ideals in which I survived, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just say survive. I'm not gonna say I was super rolling, but I was surviving, you know what I mean? And that was a stat to me. And, you know, there wasn't very many people we associated ourselves with, you know what I mean? But Chaz was one of the dudes that we would invite down to the office and we would just talk, you know, and he was always, he was consistently thorough, you know, like if there were problems for no financial gain, no favor gain, just for the gain of just, you know, that's my man and you got a problem with my man, I'll squash it the way it should be. Just those kind of things, you know. And you know, when I was still trying to get my career together as related to Roc-A-Fella, a lot of doors were closed in our face, you know. And it was weird because I didn't understand that I was the minority, you know. And when I say that, meaning it's not very many people that live by those codes. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. And it's like us against the world. You know what I mean? So it was like, if I ever get in a position, I'm gonna always open the doors for people that deserve it, that live by those ideals. You know what I'm saying? So that's my jewel. Not my jewel, that's my man. My back from Danish. I don't like to have jewelry that everyone can get, so he came through from Denmark.
I come from Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Oh, okay.
So this is the secret. You see the jewelry I wear.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to put the camera on it because I was like, well, you know, that's exclusive.
That's cool.
Oh, okay.
They can't get to him.
Oh.
They don't want to get to him.
Okay.
Unless they going to Denmark. He don't live here. He comes to Denmark, design the jewelry. I don't see him for 3-4 months, and he comes back with one of a kind. You know.
Wow.
But anyway, so you know when the opportunity presented itself, and then it was like I was running around the world because you know I'm on my international grizzly, and honestly I'm trying to take what I got here and take it to the rest of the planet because there's a void there. We're at the forefront of the urban marketplace. And I would go to London and I'd run into Chaz and Graf. And you know, that means he thinks outside the box like I do. You know what I'm saying? And he's putting in that work that nobody puts in anymore. And he lives by those old school rules. So it only made sense to affiliate myself with him in some way, shape, or form. Then when I started to learn his story, you know, I was like, God damn, because, you know, he's an understated dude. He's not loud, and you don't really know what's going on with Chad. So when we finally got to conversate, and I would always hear things about him. I ain't going to talk about this now, but, you know, I just like, this story is very interesting, you know, and it's also a positive story because of everything he went through and where he is, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I look at it, his circumstance was probably more extreme than I could have ever imagined. I probably could have done a lot of things. Like, one of the things that I ask him is like, of all hustles to choose, how you gonna be a bank robber? You know what I'm saying? That's the most dangerous thing on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I can say that, right? You know, like you know what I mean? If you gonna weed, dope, crack, whatever, why would you choose probably the one that has to have the most exposure?
Right.
Grace, why don't you go over there with that? Why? Like I was saying, what was we at?
Think about it.
Oh yeah, I was like, what makes you choose to be a bank robber? You know what I'm saying? And the inner workings of that, and it just, his reasons made a lot of sense to me. You know what I mean? And I don't want to give it all up because I want to do that in the movie. You know what I'm saying? But as much sense as it made, I still don't think I'd ever be a bank robber. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like he was robbing banks, got caught for it, and then went to jail and was still robbing banks. Then got caught again and then escaped. Like, you know, there's definitely there's a problem with authority with Chaz. he has to be the authority, but there's a lot of interesting things about Chaz that I think people would definitely identify with and also have admiration for because they wouldn't have enough guts to do a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So overall, I feel like the story would be crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What kind of situation do you have with Black Hand as far as the music goes, with business? And what situation y'all got going?
Well, I got distribution, and whatever I got, the connect is for him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I got is there for him. You know what I'm saying? And any way I can help, I'm gonna help.
Right.
It's 100% his movement. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's why a lot of, you know, Graf could rap, but I always say a lot of it is, you know, you guys have to kind of market yourselves together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he is the businessman behind it, and you really don't see Chaz. I mean, you don't see Graf really without Chaz. You know what I'm saying? And it's a movement, you know, and that's what hip hop has to be.
Okay.
It really does. It's not single driven. It's not even album driven. It's movement driven. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. And it's it's an old school movement. You know, and I don't see none of that really. You know what I mean? And also, Chaz got good ears, man. You know, like he the first. I remember, I think, to sign 50 Cent. You know, and you know, he was always with Irv Gotti in the early days. That might be who introduced us, Irv, right? Yeah, Irv might have been one that made this up. You know, and he got good ears. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like guys like that. I mean, like back in the day, me and Jay would be like, "Yo, how come we can't get a record deal? We not losers." You know what I'm saying? We're winners. You know, and it's just a bigger picture there. You know, because these guys wouldn't be able to contain or understand the power of that movement. And I think it's the same with Chaz. You know, so if I could open those doors. You know, like no one opened them for me. Like I really literally had to be the bad guy to open those doors. I had to kick them shits down. Right. Because they was not trying to hear me, you know. And I would hate for someone else to have to go through that because it does mean that a lot of people aren't going to like you, you know, and that a lot of people are going to try to stifle your progress because there's fear when people and men of honor come around because unhonorable people get exposed and there's fear. You know what I mean? And a guy like that walks in the room, I'm quite sure there's a lot of fear. Just like when I walk in the room, there's a lot of fear. And it's even fear I don't understand. It's fear that I don't even like, you know, people like to be feared, I don't even understand it. You know what I mean? It's like, why be scared of a person that wants to work and wants to be honest and wants to look out for their homeboys and wants to live by those old school rules? What's scary about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you don't disrespect, you won't get disrespected. That means you have every intention on disrespecting. So it doesn't put fear in me, it's just like it makes me leery of people. Like, why would you be scared of a thorough dude? You know what I'm saying? I'm never scared of a thorough dude if I'm gonna be scared at all. You know what I'm saying? But I'm, you know, a thorough cat, I know is gonna do the right thing. And ain't nothing to be afraid of. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I see things as it relates to Chaz.
Okay. What was the motivation behind the sneakers that you bought? You bought the whole company.
Yeah.
I want to know what was motivated you just to buy the whole company like that?
Well, that's what I do. You know, I own companies.
Right.
You know, it's funny because like in the music business you have a label, but when you go into another industry it don't mean nothing. You know, and they still feel like, you got to work for me, and I don't like that. I don't like asking people to control my destiny. You know what I'm saying? I like to control my own destiny and also help other people. Right. You know, like if I want to give somebody a sneaker deal, I ain't got to go ask nobody. I ain't go through the paperwork. I can have a sneaker done, sampled up in 2 weeks, and then put it in the marketplace in 4. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, number one, I was watching Nike make all that money from the urban marketplace because we're the #1 buyers and #1 consumers. That Nike is the #1 selling sneaker, and I know I've been a loyal consumer of white Nike Airs, and I'm thinking to myself, man, Nike's getting all that bread from us, and I'm not getting $1 from it, and I hate it, you know. And if I want Nike to do something for me, I can't even talk to Phil Nike, whatever his name is, you know, direct. I got to go through somebody, 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 and this is real. That's gonna, by the time he gets to it, so he's not gonna appreciate and understand, you know, my worth and what my culture's worth is.
Right.
So I was like, yo, if I can get a brand, not a sneaker line, but a brand that's timeless, that means something, I can go ahead and bite into that marketplace. That man makes $14 billion worldwide. 14 billion. I know I could get 20% of that. That'd be 4 million, 4 billion rather, or something like that, something crazy like that. I got to get that. And I'm also, being that I'm the objective consumer, I'm gonna know how to design shit right, because I know what I like. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a fly nigga. So, you know, of course, I'm gonna make the right sneaker. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna make sneakers for the people I represent. I'm a regular nigga. I'm just a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know, I got lucky. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully speaking. You know? So, it was like, #1, it states a precedent for the culture. So they can respect our culture and business. You know, there's money to be made, and I want to make the fly sneakers possible. Right. And I could give other people ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? You make a sneaker, you get a royalty from it, it's another stream of money. Period.
I had a few questions, but these three, this thing, the questions I'm asking you is going to sum it all up. It's like basically a small history, and it started out wanting to be a DVD, but that was kind of like a far-fetched,
Right.
And it had something to do with you. Basically, a small history. How did you come from, that was a name in the DVD, I'm just asking you a question. How did you come from the block to the Roc to Dame Dash music group?
Well,
like, you know.
the Roc was based on the block.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had a crew called The Best Out. And we used to throw parties at the Cotton Club. We used to get the first 100 ladies free Moet at the time. We wasn't getting pushed out of that. And we used to throw the best parties, have the most fun. Everybody from all boroughs getting niggas to come. And we weren't even really getting it like that. It was alright, you know what I mean? But I saw our influence, the impact. People want to have fun. People like to get drunk. You know what I mean? That was our biggest form of marketing, was to go into a club, shut it down. When I say shut it down, order every bottle of champagne in there and just give it out. Because everybody wants to party, you know? And the way we was partying wasn't like on no clown shit, you know what I'm saying? It was on some drinking the bottles and, you know, spending a little money and getting the girls and, you know, basically what everybody hustles for, you know? And that was how we marketed it, you know, and it's based on my point of view. That's what we did on our block. And, you know, that's how we got to the Roc. And you know, it worked well. You know, we would look at other crews and be like, dude, they never break up. We got a problem with each other, we just gonna talk about it. You know, and basically the ideals that the Roc was supposed to was, you know, make everybody rich around you. Right. That's what you're supposed to do. Your friends get rich, because that way you can never be fucked up. Right. You can never be fucked up because you just take a little, and you complete again, you know? And there's no egos there. Everyone's equal. You know, and when it came time to sell a name and they offered it, they was like, yo, if you stay, they told Jay, you stay here, we'll give you the name, but you know, he wasn't wanting to work with us no more. Reasons which I couldn't tell you. Right. You know, he's wanting to do his own thing. He was like, hey man, go do your own thing, but don't take the name. You know what I'm saying? Just because they offered it to you. He's like, nah, they offered it to me, man. Business is business. We was like, business is business. I guess the Roc don't need us no more, you know? It broke our heart. It really did. It broke our heart. Because that wasn't how we grew up. It wasn't what the ideals we came from. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, money really wasn't never the issue for us. It wasn't about the name and who owned it and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? It was about the fact that we was friends. And that we could get money together. And that we could spread the love and make sure all our homeboys had money. Period. It wasn't about nothing personal money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure I could have been greedy and, you know, because I was the business of it all and been like, you know, I ain't got to break nobody off here and break nobody off there and give half the company up. But I said, you know, whoever puts in the work should get compensated for it. So when that happened, I went to the Dame Dash Music Group. And, you know, me and Biggs are still partners, but, you know, he always wants to be in the cut. You know,
silent partner.
Yeah, like my silent partner, and he was just like, yo, I was like, let's call it Dame and Biggs Music Group. He's like, nah, you do it. I was like, all right, you know, because, you know, it's goods and bad with that. You know, when it's not rolling, it's all on me. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's not rolling, but, you know, so it's good though because, you know, I'm the one that gets the credit for it. But it's really me and Biggs. And that's my man. I don't care about nothing. It's not even about money. that's my man. We started this joint together, and because of that, and how much he believed in the friendship and the loyalty of it, and how thorough he's always been, no matter what, that's my partner. You know what I'm saying? Period. I don't care about the money. You know what I mean? That's my man.
So how did you, in the beginning, when you started, you had the crew best out and all that, was Jay always a part of that, or how did you meet Jay?
I met Jay through Clark Kent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, to me, like, you know, back then Harlem niggas and Brooklyn niggas were extremely different. But he didn't act as different. You know what I mean? There was a little difference, but it wasn't as much.
Right.
So it was like you got the best of Harlem at the time. I thought the best of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of had the same ideals in common. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost like if you know, Jay Swagger was kind of a Harlem swagger. But that's because he was around Harlem niggas. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of tell because now he's not with us and he's a whole other style. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he don't dress nothing like we used to dress.
Right.
Call it an evolution of growing up or whatever, but it's just not Harlem no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not the same kind of swagger, you know?
Okay.
But, you know, that's on him. That's what he wants to do. It's cool, you know? Not mad at him. I was just kind of disappointed in that decision he made. And you know, like I said, it kind of hurt our feelings. You know?
Right.
Not on no bitchy shit, just like, yo, you know, when your man does something you don't expect your man to do, it just shocks you because those are the only people that can hurt you. Your family and your real friends. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else I could care less about.
All right. How did, like, I look in the magazine, I see everybody with Jay. I'm like, how did that happen? Like, state property, you got Clue, you got Memphis. I mean, how did everybody end up with him?
Well, I never met, ever. To me, the way it ended was corny as it stood. But to go to the artist and say you got to choose a side is way whacker. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't my intent. And all I offered everyone else was, yo, it ain't no more Roc-A-Fella, you know, the old Roc-A-Fella. So all I can do really is help y'all set up your own situations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in answer to Bleak, I mean, he got the role with Jay.
Right.
I don't think he didn't have enough to start his own situation. And I wouldn't even expect him to. All I really was talking to really was Cam and Beans. You know what I'm saying? So when you sell the company, like I sold Roc-A-Fella, Universal now owns it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't own Roc-A-Fella no more. They make Jay the president of Def Jam, and of course Def Jam now owns Roc-A-Fella.
Right.
So that's his job now. You know what I'm saying? But because of my position, you know, I made it to where Cam could get off the label and get 3 distribution deals somewhere else. Beans was locked up. I went to Beans and was like, yo, it ain't no choosing no sides. You know what I'm saying? But set your own situation up. Right now you can. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know what you want me to do. I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. If you notice, Beans' album came out through the Damon Dash Music.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're asking really about Clue hasn't had an album out in 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, but actually, Clue still calls me about the album and stuff. I'll be like, whatever you want me to do, I'll do, you know? And Def Jam actually cut me a nice check to consult when you needed to. You know what I mean? But I don't own those acts no more. I sold them. And also, I think what people don't understand in the urban world and the hip-hop world is a businessman always aspires to sell their company. Some people never get a chance to sell their company. If you could build a company and sell it for a lot of money, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a businessman. I sold 2 companies in a 6-month period of time. I sold my part of Rockware for $30 million, or the evaluation of $30 million, $22 million liquid in companies, and I sold Rockware, Roc-A-Fella rather. That's a score and a half. You know what I'm saying? We high-fiving. Niggas act like that's like not a good thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like winning the Super Bowl when you get to sell a company. I'm gonna build another company up and I'm gonna sell that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I got on the CEO line. CEO, that's my new clothing line. I was able to sell, get my paper, and when the average individual sells a company, he's not allowed to compete in the marketplace for at least 5 years. Because they're like, yo, we bought that, you can't compete. I can compete. So I already had samples made when I knew that I was selling the company. I'm good. I'm gonna let this be available in the fall, but until then, I'm gonna be wearing it so people can see it. But I'm gonna build up another company and sell it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then as also a hip hop individual, you have to evolve as a businessman. You can't just be in the business of hip hop and just stay there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love hip hop. I'm always gonna be from there. But I'm not trying to do the same exact hustle I was doing 10 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be pitching for the rest of my life.
Right. You like put like a conglomerate, like.
You got to evolve. You know what I'm saying? You got to evolve.
Right. So like in the beginning, it was just you and Jay. I mean, they had a group called Original Flavor.
Yeah.
That was in the beginning.
Yeah.
What happened? The cat that was with, that was rapping with Jay in the beginning. Yeah, and you had Jazzo. Okay, and you had Jazzo. Why what was the problem with him never signing it? I heard his.
I asked Jay, man. Like,
it was up to him.
Jazzo's from Brooklyn, right?
Right.
He takes care of Brooklyn. I was taking care of Harlem. That's what it is. Anybody from Brooklyn, you gotta ask about Jay.
Okay.
And that's not my place. You know what I'm saying? Just like if it's Queens or someone that's coming out of Chaz's camp, you got to go talk to Chaz. I can't talk to you. I can talk to you about Harlem and the niggas I know. That'd be like one of my people's going and talking to Jay. Or going to talk to Chaz or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So anything that you, I took care of Harlem. Beans takes care of Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even, or Cameron, you know what I'm saying? Like, from his, different generations or whatever. But it ain't for me to I don't know what's going on in that relationship. I know Jazz ended up making a record about him, and then we immediately responded, which I thought was kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I didn't really understand the dynamic, because where I'm from, friends stay friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Period.
Right. But now that I remember you saying about people you like that do things and help people out. What would be the approach that you would go about like helping somebody? What would they have to be or bring to you?
I have opportunities. Like underneath my umbrella, I have a lot of connects. You know what I'm saying? If you need a clothing line, I can probably bring you to the connect. Doesn't mean that the person's gonna do it. But I can at least bring you to the connect. I can link niggas up. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Or if I get into business with you, every vehicle and venue that I have to promote, you can promote with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if I got, a clothing line on the hang tag, you can put your album on it. Okay. When the album come out, I'll put it in the Pro-Can sneaker box. Or if I make a video come in, my shine is your shine. You know what I'm saying?
So you really like linking.
Like if you notice, you will never see me really on the air without one of my artists. You know what I mean? And if I'm allowed to, I'm not going on without my artists, because I'd rather them get the shine. I almost feel like it's time for me to start easing back. I've been doing this for so long, it's time to let some other niggas get there. I'd rather pass the mic. Like, I feel like I passed it to Cam. He's a younger nigga to do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? I gave the connect, any connect I had to Chaz. Like, it's time for another generation of people to do this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Niggas probably tired of seeing me do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm tired of seeing me doing it. I can't be pouring champagne on chicks no more and doing that dance and all that other. It's like, I dance, but I can't be as crazy as I was before. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm 34. I got a son almost, not to say he's almost my age, he's a teenager. Right. You know what I mean? I don't want to embarrass him. So I think at the time, you got to know when it's time to evolve, Let somebody else get that shine. Right. Get the shine. More rappers, new CEOs. Come on, I'll help you. Right. I'm not against you. Let's stick together, man. Right.
And like, I heard, like, you hear like rumors like dang, a real hard cat in the boardroom. It's like certain people, I heard one time, it's like, you gave somebody something and they asked about it. It's like, yo, when I give you something, you take it, and you don't ask me what is this or what I got to do with this. Are you really that hard with these people in the corporate world when you sit down with them?
I'm hard with the corporate dudes. Right. Because they try to exploit and they think they're smarter than you. So I'm insecure about that. So I'll be like, yo, don't try to play me ever. Don't try to play anybody around me, and respect me. You know what I'm saying? And also, especially when it relates to the music business. Not many of them niggas got more money than me. Not many of them niggas is doing anything but in the music business. How dare them come at me a certain way? You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to humble me, because in the music business, people definitely think they're bigger than they are. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like half y'all niggas can't even get in the club. You know what I'm saying? Period. I'm a businessman. I ain't no rapper. But I'm good in the fashion world, in the movie world, in the magazine world, in the jewelry world, in the liquor world, and the motherfucking music world. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call myself the ultimate hustler. You know what I'm saying? None of y'all doing that shit. And I ain't got to shit on nobody to get where I got to go. I ain't got to cut nobody's throat. I look out for all my people. You know what I'm saying? I can still walk on my block and I'm all right. All of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, dog, you don't even have half the man that I am for you to be trying to come at me a certain way. Right. And they be trying to jerk you a lot. So you just have to, don't tell me what to do. You're not a boss. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely like a shark. This is like a shark business, because I know, like, when y'all had the Roc-A-Fella, everybody was like, everybody's eating over there. And everybody could see that you see certain record labels, cats don't look too hot. You know what I mean? Or, they ain't getting what they supposed to get. They might make an album 1 year and don't push them no more 2, 3, 4 years.
I keep my niggas rich.
How do you feel about the state of hip hop now that the South seem like they taking over?
It's beautiful. It's evolution. It's whatever, man. How you feel about the state of Roc-A-Fella right now?
Me? I wish it could be what it was, but
what
unfortunately...
What is it now? I don't hear about what it was. What is it now?
It's
a fucking joke.
It's not right.
It's not right.
So, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that tells you right now. Back in the day, you said Roc-A-Fella, it meant something.
Right.
You know what I mean? You was down with the rock, there was prestige with it. Now it's damn near corny. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm going to say it because that's the way I feel. Mm-hmm. And the way, it needs to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a fluke. It took a lot of work to keep all those crews together. Yeah. And to keep them all paid. I kept them making movies. I kept them making clothing lines. I always kept them with some money in their pockets so they didn't have to be a slave to the rhythm of the label. I made it to where they could say, I put out a record when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I said. Clue didn't put out a record for 6 fucking years. Beans didn't come out for 3 years. Niggas didn't come out, but they all had money. When Beans went to jail, was locked up, he was making money while he was in there sitting. Period. You know what I'm saying? Right. They're all entrepreneurs. They all got cars. Some of these dudes, if they didn't go gold, it looked like they went platinum. You know what I mean? They had more money than niggas that went gold. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? And it might sound catty for me to say it, but I cared about the rock. You know what I'm saying? But things need to be acknowledged. Because everyone critiques me so much, and what I'm doing and all that shit, it kills me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Trust me, I don't mind. Right. But it just kills me. It'd be like, yo, motherfuckers conveniently not paying attention. Right. Well, how come nobody's saying that? Like, yo, goddamn. Nigga came out last year, did double what he did now, this year. You know what I'm saying? I never caught a brick in my life. Never. Roc-A-Fella never caught a brick. You know what I mean? We was always going to do at least 250 to 300 records, at least. You know what I'm saying? And when you did that, you made money. I made sure the artist made money.
It's like kind of hard to get, I would have loved to interview the brother, and I got crazy questions to that, but it's hard to, you know what I mean? He keep himself.
When I can't, that's on him.
That's how he do. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got nothing to hide. I always answer all questions. Right. I'm always accessible to a degree. Like I be sick of being asked the same questions because, of course, I'm not trying to sound like a bitch ass nigga and be really like, all right, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, fuck that. Like that's not me. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm on the radio, I'll be like, everything's good. You know what I'm saying? Because I just, where I'm from, it's not really cool to be doing that shit. Yeah, you're right. But to a degree, I feel like you do have to be honest. I ain't gonna hide nothing. I think what was done was fucked up. I don't know why it got done. Right. Period.
With the Armadale, how you come up with that name? You come up with all the names and everything?
That Biggs did all that.
Biggs did all for the Armadale and all that?
Biggs did all that.
Oh, okay then.
Biggs came up with the name, got on the internet, found a Scottish castle. Man. Biggs is like different. Biggs is quiet, man, but honestly he's not that quiet. But he's always observing everything that goes on. Right. He has really good ideas. All the platinum came from Biggs. He's the one that got the platinum. The iceberg came from Biggs. All that 4.6 is? Yeah, 4.6. All that, Biggs was the first one on the block with a 4 point. Let me tell you, Biggs came up on the block with a 4.6 and a platinum Rolex and hurt both of us. Me and Jay was in the heart like, oh man, because we always had a friendly competition, against each other. So he can't have something I ain't have it. So that meant I had to spend 35 grand on a fucking watch. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want the 4.6. That was on him, but Biggs came up with a lot of that new shit. See, a lot of cats don't know that. That was all Biggs. Glad you let brothers know. Chris now, all that. Biggs the first to drink the Chris. He's the one that brought it. Like Jay was like our ambassador. Right. I ain't gonna say Biggs came up with everything, but collectively, all our ideas, we talked to Jay. Jay put it in the rhymes. Boom, put that on the press. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's how it went down. We would just talk about all the fly shit we was doing, and like literally we'd be like sitting around like, yo, let's just make everybody wear gold now, because we got everybody wearing platinum. Let's choose a new fucking champagne. We have taste tests because we saw everybody doing everything we did. We understand how influential we were. We started a lot of trends. Yeah, got a lot of other people was eating off of what y'all was putting out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I started doing it ourselves. Right. We went to, like I said, I tell a story all the time. I went to Iceberg. I was like, yo, give us a little money to promote your shit, or at least help us do a clothing line. They said no to both. Give me some free clothes. They said nah, we'll sell you samples at cost. I'm putting y'all out of business. Roc-A-Fella started the next day. I'm talking about I walked over there and walked over to the Russians, and that was that.
Man. Last question. The state property clothing. Do you have a part in that? You own part of it, or is
I
this
own
things?
what Roc-A-Fella's percentage was. I own all that part.
Okay.
Yeah. And more likely, that would mean that I'll give Beanie a bigger part. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
All right.
So basically, the money I took was for their share of state property because they wasn't doing nothing with it, or for it.
Right.
And Team Roc as well.
All right.
So Team Roc, I'm gonna just dead it.
Yeah.
It's gonna cease to exist.
Oh, that's what you starting on next. Okay.
Is Zab with y'all or Zab Judah? I see he had something that said.
No, we used to sponsor him. Roc-A-Fella, I used to sponsor him and shit. But it's not a
Oh, yeah,
big
you got
deal.
the chin checker thing going on and all that.
Yeah,
I
the
forgot
boxing
about that.
promotions.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a little knuckle game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might.
On the what you call 'em, I seen the jab. Good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I might.
And those are cats that's under you, that box.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fighting promoter as well. Me
Okay.
and Lou DeBella.
All right.
You talking about when I was fighting on the Ultimate Hustler?
Right.
Yeah.
I know
Right.
my collarbone was broken. I was just giving it one hand. And I
What?
didn't say that. Yeah.
Oh, see, we couldn't tell.
All you saw was that was a left and that was jabs and left hooks. I can't really throw my right.
Oh,
But I had
okay.
to tell them that.
Let's cut a music. M.Reck. Y'all wanna stunt and floss on Front Street? The Hawk will tear through your gut, spill out your lunch meat. You the main Vic, they booking for drugs. Niggas starving out here, and you looking like grub. That new M.Reck Catch a Lick single, aka Money Dance, that's killing the airwaves on Shade 4-5 and many different other stations in Connecticut, Boston, so forth and so on. You can get it now. The links is in the video description. It's available on Google Play, Deezer, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, etc., etc. Go get that. One. Slug you, the streets don't love you. Not at all. By now, homie, you shoulda knew that. Ain't no Nino Browns in this town. You a new jack.
It's crummy beats, y'all.
Peace, world. To promote your music or promote your business by placing an ad on MRecktv, contact MRecktv promo, MRecktv promo @gmail.com. Peace. Oh yeah, subscribe to MRecktv, youtube.com/MRecktv. I'm gone. MRecktv. Let's cut a music.